Hello, and welcome back to Lyre. We're still hanging around with God Chan over here. He looks pretty good. I do like his design. Look at him. He's the guy. we saw him in the thing. It's all good. Not really into the multiple arms. That's never really a me thing. I don't know. Do you all like when the lads have multiple arms? Like multiple sets, I mean, It is what it is. A short pause followed by my outburst before he responds. What? The wind begins to the wind begins to slow down, becoming a light breeze, and the color around us slow down, like a wheel on a cart. You're Tigran, aren't you? The god that creates our world. The one who our continent is named after. The wake of dust flying out beneath us is now a gentle cloud of sand. It's a relieving to not have the sound of wind in my ear anymore, but now this area feels empty. Yes, I am Tigran. I am the god of your world, but here I am just as a guide. You hold almost as much power here as I do. And this form you've taken, it's a trick? A trick of the light. Before me now stands a tiger, vibrant and strong with glowing green eyes. They're not just tigers, though. Okay, so now we have his actual color scheme and stuff. I don't know, he's cool. I don't really think he's hot, but he's cool. So it's just different. It's a different emotion, They're not just a tiger, though. Their form is made up of 3 different animals, from what I can tell. The second animal is some sort of reptile. It looks like a snail from the tail, but I could be wrong. The last animal is a bird. Large winged hands that that are as yellow as honey sprout from beneath their other set of arms. They're completely naked, but there's no reproductive organs. How did you know I was a god? Well, you're a god. Most don't even figure it out that fast, especially not the non-religious ones. I haven't been to a place of worship in years, but I remember your form being that of a chimera. I also recognize the symbol on your torso. I say this lightly, pointing at the triangle on their belly. Interesting. And I thought you weren't able to keep a level head in dire situations. He chuckles to himself, each belt booming throughout the cavern. It just came to me, I suppose. Now, if it's okay, I'd like to take up more of your time by asking some more questions. Time doesn't pass here. Well, for me it doesn't, but if you come here unconscious, then it will. So I am asleep. Is this the heavens, afterlife? They shake their head. No. The afterlife is a completely different ordeal. Something I won't explain to you. It would end up being a burden. They raise a hand. This is your mind's eye. The place where you can transcend time and body. They gesture around with their arms. It's your sanctuary. My sanctuary? Why is it so calm here now? It is yours. It will react to your emotions and your thoughts. I study the way the walls of this tunnel move slowly. Almost as if they're barely moving at all. I never see it get this calm this fast. I walk up to one of the curved walls of the chasm and run my fingers along the side. They cut into the wall, and on this other side, it is more layers of light. Dust flies off my hand, similar to the floor. I've had a lot of stress about lately. I'm all out of room in my mind to fret about this. Especially since I still don't know what this means for me yet. He puts on a acquisitive look. Yes. What does this mean for you? I know you're doing your best to explain this, but it's a lot to take in. Along with that, my mind tends to wander a lot. That's okay. This isn't something that you could comprehend in a day. Not only that, but I'm a bit restricted. Restricted? They raise a hand to their chest and run a finger along the glowing scar. A punishment from the higher gods. Tigran scar. I remember that the mountain range northwest of Iron was named for religious reasons, but didn't think that it was that important. Yes. Stop me from giving away too much information to mortals. Stops me, okay. Past events caused great chaos and left me punished. So you can share your wisdom with me, but not direct knowledge. They frown. Yes. The collective knowledge of this world is something you will have to attain yourself. It is not something I can give you. All the collective knowledge of the world. That could make someone extremely powerful. But something feels off. There must be a catch. Earlier you said this was a curse. Something that could either help or burden me. Their eyes brighten, and I can see they've been eager to have this brought up. They did. This ability is extremely powerful. The higher gods sometimes question me from bestowing it. Their tails swish as they scratch their chin with a tiger paw. But the world needs someone to act as their guide. Guide them toward a bright future by making sure the mistakes of the past are not repeated. This power should only be used for the greater good. Any avatar who uses it for selfish intentions is punished, and the cycle grows weaker. The breeze around me sends a chill up my spine as they say it. So I'll ask you this one question. I ask it of everyone. Everything around me slows, even the mist beneath my feet. If you could see any event from the past and any event from the future, what would they be? And answer truthfully. I'll know if you're lying. I look down at the ground and attempt to think about this question. This is always so much fun. I guess I'll start with the first. If I could see any event from the past, what would it be? To be honest, the first thing that comes to mind is what I've been questioning from the past day. Who killed Renner? Is that selfish thought, though? No, I don't think it is. I want justice for our king. This isn't just to save myself. This isn't about me. But what would I do if I could see the future? Tigran didn't mention being able to see the future. Maybe it's a trick question. I'm ready to answer. Good, go on. If I could see anything from the past, I want to see who murdered our king. Not for the safety of myself, but for the justice of this kingdom. An interesting answer. And about the future. I gather my thoughts and continue. The future is more difficult. The possibilities are endless, and there's no event that is set in stone. But, in a theoretical sense, I suppose I would wish to see a tragic event before it happens, so that I could prevent it. Tigran bites the lower lip with curiosity before responding. That's a unique response. It isn't the first time I've heard it, though. They step back. Thank you for answering my question. You have provided me with great insight. So, it's true then. They stop in their tracks and look down at me. Can I really see the past? Is it really possible for me to figure out who killed King Reiner? They rub their chin with one of their hands and look at me with a concerned gaze. Yes, it is possible. But you will need to train. Right now, your experience only allows you to see distant memories. But this has only happened because of certain triggers. Hearing them say this reminds me of how I had the vision of Elena's death right after hearing about this. That happened 10 years ago. Anything recent would be harder to grasp. A twisted memory of the past. They sigh. For the past month, you've been becoming your own person more and more. No longer are you an onlooker or passerby. You finally removed your mask. Okay. We will speak again. How? I have a feeling you already know. Yeah? Okay. And with that, the figure slowly fades away, the light behind them refracting through their body like glass. At first, I'm lost, not knowing what to do next, but then I feel an empty pain in my stomach. I can feel my eyes physically gleam with light as everything around me closes. I hear one last thing before I am enveloped in comforting darkness. Your eyes can see beyond the horizon, beyond the skyline. Use this. I'm back in the cell. My head is leaning up against the wall and my body is sprawled out on the stone bench. My body feels completely exhausted, but not in a sleepy way. Was I dreaming? I lift myself up slightly and look out the window. The sun's rays are still being cast over the mountain like a golden crown. And time didn't pass. Even if I only slept a wink, the light from the sun shouldn't be visible at all. So it was real. Either that or I'm crazy. Can I really see into the past? It would make sense considering everything that's happened. That vision that I had where I was looking through Reiner's eyes, it was too real. Does that mean I could do it again? See back in time and figure out who killed him? I didn't I can't I can't see how it would help me though. Not like how anyone would believe me. I take the ring off my finger and fiddle it in my hands, sliding it on and off, watching it gleam in the moonlight. Focusing on objects helps me think. I see another object gleam in the light. It's a shimmering object stuck in a pile of straw like it's being hidden. Walking over to it, I reach in and pull out a small shard of glass. No, it's a piece of a mirror, as big as a spearhead. Maybe someone was using it as a weapon. I lift it up to my face and try to look into it to see a reflection. The shard is scratched. Scratched to hell, and there's not a very clear image. My face is slightly warped in the reflection, but I can make out everything. My hair is a bit disheveled, and I look like I haven't slept in 2 days. Something does strike me as odd. I swear my eyes were green. Now that I look closer, they're blue. As extremely bright and vivid blue, almost like diamonds. They were green before. I swear they were. Suddenly, I think back to what Tigran said a moment ago. I finally removed your mask. Maybe there's a correlation, yes, to my eyes changing color and those visions. A side effect of sort. I placed the mirror shard deep into the straw pile I got it from. That seems dangerous though, right? Like, what if someone, leans back on it? They could stab themselves. Come on. Put it on the ground. This is probably where I got it from. Maybe making sure nobody would be able to see it. I've still got the ring in my hand and walk back over to the bench, sitting down on it with my back to the window. Yeah, I feel stuck. Like everything that's happened so far has led me here, and now I can't do anything. My only hope is to try and see the past. I've done it before. I know I have. This isn't a trick, and I need to start believing it. Even if nobody believes me. I can try to figure out evidence. Proof that can be used against the killer. Even so, I can have some solace in knowing who the killer is before I'm executed. I tremble. A tremble shoots up my body as I think about being walked to the chopping block. This won't happen. I'll find a way. And I'll have Lyre to help me along the way. Live by one's wit. Who was that? At first it sounds like Tegrin is speaking to me, but they don't sound like that. The voice is muffled and twisted, as if someone were to grab the words and ride them out like a rag. And yet they feel familiar. Like I've heard them before. Live by one's wits. Advice, maybe. Another past memory sent to torture my mind with riddles is more likely. Makes me almost wish I didn't have this skill. I shake my head slightly and focus on the ring again. I need to play the smart. Can't go around acting like a fool anymore. This is the this is the forest, and I'm the fox being burnt out of its den. My only hope is to find another way to tunnel out, and I'm going to need help from those I trust. Okay. Yeah. Lyle's eyes feel heavy as he steadily wakes up. Yet another night of restless sleep. Or are we playing as Lyle? Oh, that's kind of neat. As he shifts his legs around underneath the warm covers, cold air flows underneath them, sending a fresh feeling up his body. His feet are cold, and he brings his legs closer to him. Or a third person, whatever. It's fine. The heat from his body should be enough to keep him warm. Not to mention the fur. However, it feels like the cold has been getting worse. He hugs his pillow tightly and his body to keep warm. The feeling of warmth that is usually carried with him has been diminished these past few days. The rest of his senses have finally started to kick in, and a strong sensation begins to overtake him. It's a scent. Richter. He notices that every time he shifts around in his bed, Richter's scent invades his senses. It's been a few days since their intimacy, yet his smell still lingers. It's not a bad smell by all means. Richter usually smelled so nice. The scent isn't artificial either. It gives off a natural feeling. Thinking about Richter causes a flood of recent memories to flow through his mind. For the past couple of days, every time he wakes up, he feels as if each memory smacks him in the face over and over again, reminding him about everything that's happened with no remorse. It almost feels unbearable, and sometimes he'll wake up in the morning, and as he's still coming to, he'll feel a moment of pure bliss and hope that it was all just a nightmare. It wasn't a nightmare, though. If only it was. His eyes were starting to well up with tears, and he doesn't know if they are if they're watering from waking up, or if it's because of sorrow. To be honest, most of his worries come from thinking about Richter. He feels awful knowing that he wasn't able to go and visit Richter yesterday. Lately, the whole castle has been in an uproar, and he's barely had a chance to sit down. He knows that Richter is strong, but he just can't bear the thought of him thrown down there. Okay, Richter is definitely being fed. Yes, okay, like food fed. Okay, but it's still a terrible place to be, and he doesn't deserve it. Sometimes he wishes that he could take his place and be the one that was thrown in the cell. He cares for Richter an awful lot, but somehow that doesn't feel like it has anything to do with this notion. He wholeheartedly believes that Richter was not the one who did it. Knowing this makes a sense of justice swell within him. He cannot allow such a form of injustice to happen. He'll do anything that he can to help Richter, not just because of love, but because of loyalty. Lyle adjusts himself to get up from bed, and the scent invades his nose once again. It's almost intoxicating and reminds him of all of the fond memories he's made so far. With his furry paw, he traces his fingers from his groin, across his navel and up to his abdomen. That night when Richter was inside of him was the closest he had ever been with anyone, both physically and emotionally. He had never truly felt such strong feelings with those until now. He's sure of it. Never has he been so connected with someone who truly understands him. All right, I'll end the part here, everyone. So I'll see you around.